Look, brother, y'all was about to miss out on some truth.
Yeah,
from
almost. Yeah,
I almost missed out on some truth from truth.
yeah, yeah.
Y'all know who I am, man. I'm a guy from a place. Charm City Bipper, Quis The Vndl. Marquis is the name my mother gave me. Today, I've been having some motion, and I'm telling y'all, I'm continuing with that theme of community, of right action, of consciousness. I'm here with a brother who's doing things in the community. He's from my city, West Baltimore, Pennsylvania Avenue.
What up?
You know, he from out here. He's making big actions, living by the words that he speaks. Embodiment is what I'm big on. These different things that I say, I don't just say them so that I can hear myself talk.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Absolutely.
And that's why this brother's in the space. Before we even started this, because I'm having some moments today. I overfilled the iPhone. I don't even know what camera I'm looking at. I might look, that's not the camera. This is the camera. So I overfilled the iPhone, you understand? And there's too much going on. That's how I'm jamming. I'm had to get that terabyte from Steve. Tell Steve and Steve Peoples. Right? I'm had to get that. But just dealing with different things. And we had a conversation about Henrietta Lacks. We had a conversation about the oneness. We had a conversation about the source that we come from, and the fact that we are source. The black woman is God, if we think in the context of Henrietta Lacks, who had immortal selves.
Absolutely.
These different things that we are recognizing about ourselves daily, and that we living in. I'm long-winded. I'm giving you the floor. How do you feel about these? Where are you at right now? Before I even go deep, where are you at? We want the people to know where you at.
As far as
with life, what should they know about? I apologize, y'all. I'm telling this space, but what should they know about True? Let's start with that.
They should know that I'm strictly for the people. Strictly for the people. Strictly for the people. Strictly for the people. And I'm a high level thinker, man. I just understand that I understand things from, a scientific, aspect. I look at things. I'm a high level thinker. Let's say that I look at things from a bird's eye view, and me just understanding, self. Everything is about self. Selves and pH. That's self, and we gotta understand ourselves on a biological level, to really understand our relationship with this universe and everything around us. So, yeah, I'm God body. That's something that you should know about me. I'm God body,
Yes,
and
sir.
you is too, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No lie. That's it's interesting because I'm studying different spiritual things and constantly coming back to don't talk too much. But it's wild because I got a podcast. But when I'm not doing this, I'm doing silence. I'm finding ways to sit. I spoke to somebody earlier about how I was moving all last year, and I'm sure I know you're doing the same thing. I'm sure you move because we moving. That's part of what it is. It was 6 days to create it, 1 day to rest. So it's like these different things we honor in ourselves and honor from the source that makes us possible. They come with a lot. What is purpose? What's the purpose for you? What would you say that?
My purpose is to be. You know what I'm saying? The only quality that you have is that you exist. You know what I'm saying? So my purpose is to be. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I know that was kind of broad, but it's like, you only can do one thing on this carnal plane, and that's be. You can be happy, you can be mad, you can be sad, you can be great, you can be dumb, you can be whatever you want. And because like right now, you're becoming. You know what I'm saying? And depending on what we do in our daily lives, that determines what we're going to become. You know what I'm saying? So that's really like my purpose is to help others like see that same thing, that you literally can be whatever you want. Sometimes people be like, anything is possible, but not really understanding the science behind it. And my purpose is, to help others identify the same thing, bringing it up out of them. Because, like, it's a difference between indoctrination and education. When you're indoctrinating someone, you're telling them, what to think. But when you're educating them, you're teaching them how to think. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's my thing. I understand. And then I understand my target audience. Like, I'm talking to everyone You know, when I started the water company, you know, the slogan is everyone deserves the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm literally talking to anyone, black, white, African American, whatever you want to identify yourself as. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's more so about us coming to the realization, because everything is just realization. Like, it been right there. You just realize it because you ain't had the proper information to.
It wasn't hot.
Yeah, I'm saying
it was in plain sight.
You know, absolutely, it's always there. We just coming to a realization once you get certain information. You know, so like that's how I look at things, bro. I look at things from a spiritual aspect. You know what I'm saying? So
that's heavy.
Absolutely.
Powerful.
Absolutely, bro.
It's some people that's gonna go over for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like it's beautiful because the city we come from is gonna give you a bird's eye view by force.
True.
You ain't making it through it without a bird's eye view.
True.
So it's like it's like people like, you think too much. I'm like, you think too little. Cause there's a lot going on. In this moment, I done peeped out just about every car in the lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just our principle.
Straight up.
Like, you can't just be somewhere and not know. It's like just these little things that people are like, yo, you just over it. Like, nah, I'm where I am.
Absolutely.
You know, and like that presentness is what builds us. It's like you said even just being, you choosing to be. How do you choose to be is something that I ask of myself, but I'm asking of you all watching. How do you choose to be? Because at times we will say what life isn't or what others aren't, but not connecting to what we are, and that comes back to even the selfhood you speak on. Self is all we truly have. Self and the source that makes us possible. Like I keep coming back to God, whatever you believe God to be, right? And believing yourself to be God and being created in His image.
Can I tap in on that?
Yes, sir.
So like, I remember earlier when I said a quote. I say, "You a spirit with a body, not a body with a spirit," right? And I'm big on etymology. So etymology is the study of the origin of the word. So when I say spirit, you know, a lot of people might think of ghost, some might think of that, whatever the case may be, but not having a proper education, you won't really understand yourself. And if you don't understand self, it's hard for you to navigate in this world, right? You'll end up anywhere because you're not knowing yourself, right? So when I said you're a spirit with a body, not a body with a spirit, I was saying that to say, when you look at the word spirit in etymology, it literally means breath, breathe, oxygen.
My God.
You can, and if you want to look it up, go on Google right now and look up the word spirit. It literally means to breathe or breath.
You taking me into a space because they call alcohol spirits.
Truth.
What do alcohol do to people? Take their damn breath away.
Take your spirit.
Something to take your spirit.
So like, look at it like, nah, bro. And like, cause I heard that you, remember you say you do yoga.
That's one of the biggest parts.
Breath.
Called pranayama. That's why I say do one, because every group of individuals who understand the keys to life, the foundational aspects, is the first thing you do when you step into this plane.
Take a nap.
The last thing you do when you exit. Regardless of how you exit, that's the last thing to leave you. So it's like, with just understanding these basic things, that's why we say we simple, as in saying we make things, they overcomplicate the simple thing it is.
Truth.
This right here is just moving me from space to space. Right? We can call it a car. Now you adding a label to it. Then we can call it a Lexus, Toyota, Porsche, Ferrari. But what is this intention and purpose? Right? It's like, make these things basic. Because once I start adding all the extra layers to it, right, even adding to myself, is certain things about my story that I lived and died by. I was like, I ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing about this. Is my molehill. This is who I am. Like, no, bro. Like, I can be anything I decide to be. I can be beyond the limits that come when you say, "Oh, he's just a Baltimore dude." Just a Baltimore dude.
Truth.
Like, I'm just a black man. I'm all things.
Truth.
I'm from the all. So how do I come here and that's what society's giving me.
And and that's where, like, I be wanting, people to really understand they self on that type of level, because you got the world that's gonna like tell you whatever. They're gonna market a lot of things to you. And like once you understand self and know self, you'll kind of like know everything else. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I always start with self. And I started with saying spirit for a reason, because it's like I said, you was spirit first. And once we understand like that we spiritual beings and this just the carnal, this is like the body is the vehicle for us to be whatever we want to be.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's all that is. And like I remember you said another thing, we was created in the likeness of his image. Likeness indicates spirit. Image indicates physical. You get what I'm saying? So like you come directly from the creator,
Right.
and that's why you're able to create. You got the same attributes. You know what I'm saying? And like that's really like my thing, because I understand myself, and that's why it's like my purpose to get my brother to understand himself. Because a lot of the things that we doing is out of character, or it's out of is we acting out of. I say we acting like we is you acting with your emotions, because remember, emotions is energy in motion. That means that too shall pass. So a lot of us not really knowing self, all of these feelings that we get, we act on them. One whole time you supposed to experience it and keep it pushing. But a lot of us, we're not emotionally intelligent. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always say a kid that's only educated at school is an uneducated child. You know what I'm saying? Because what is the school system? Is literally a system that indoctrinates. You know what I'm saying? And I'm big on history. Like I studied how things came about, and that's why I can navigate the way I navigate, because I understand myself and my relationship with everything around me. Like when I was a kid, like I'm talking about, like I'm such a high level thinker. Like a lot of people don't even understand like our unique relationship with everything around us. Like the trees, like the trees give you oxygen. It's a reciprocal relationship. Then you get the trees carbon dioxide, and then back and forth all day. That's what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Like how we were saying about, we were talking about health. And the word health, healthy, you see heal and you see die. But you see heal first. Like literally when you because health is a very, 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 and that's something that I'm very, very big on, just taking care of yourself. And when I keep saying self, I'm always say cells and pH, because you gotta know yourself on a biological level. So let's say this, right? You got the body, then you got energy. Energy can't be created nor destroyed,
Absolutely.
only redirected. But you are energy. Energy makes up some atomic particles. Some atomic particles makes up atoms, 6 electrons, neutrons, protons. Those atoms makes up a molecule. Those molecules makes up a cells, with ribosomes, mitochondria, etc. Those cells makes up the systems in your body. You know what I'm saying? Like the respiratory, circulatory, digestive, etc. That makes up the human body, which is controlled by the brain. So if I was to ask you to point to your mind, where would you point at?
I'm thinking, but always in my heart. It's a
Me-
mix.
no, you-
Yeah,
I-
yeah. I
you
think
tell me.
yeah.
So like
up here, up top.
the average person gonna say the mind is right here, but you can't point to the mind, because the mind is all, right? You can't point to the mind. All of this is the mind. You get what I'm saying? So like, right? So when I say that,
That's why I was like, because I read some scriptures as like the subconscious mind lives within the heart. God checks in on your heart. So
absolutely,
and even think the heart, the in to the out. So what's in your heart is what manifests itself in every cell of our body.
absolutely,
And
that's
why we
why
all.
it's why it's straight.
Yeah.
Because look, you got, that's why I keep starting with spirit. So you got spirit, then you got your soul, then you got the mind. Now the mind is how you're able to engage into this physical. You ever heard somebody like, you lost your motherfucking mind? So if you lose your mind, you can't operate down here. You get what I'm saying? So your mind is your, and that's why the mind is a terrible thing to waste, because your mind is how you manifest things. You know, so when you like this, right? That's why I say you gotta understand your body. So your mind is basically the medium exchange between the unseen and the physical. And that's how you're able to manifest things through your mind. Because when things happen, it happen twice. The first time it happened is in your mind. The second time it happens is in the physical. You get what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
like your brain though, so that's the next layer. So spirit, soul, mind, but then you got the body. What controls the body? The brain. You know what I'm saying? So when your mind tells your brain to do something, it sends off neurons. You know what I'm saying? It sends off neurons. That's how you're able to like feel
neurotransmitters.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's just a conversation.
I like science
neurons.
class. You
But
that.
you feel me?
So like that, yes.
When I feel like dopamine, right?
That's the one.
Dopamine, that's the one a lot of us have a hard time with, because that's how you get hooked to certain things. You see the word dope and dopamine. You know what I'm saying? So like when you say, if I was to eat whatever, or I was to have a certain experience, your body sends off neurons, goes to the brain, back to your body, and then you have that.
And the mind records it.
And the mind
just say, oh, every time you see Shorty, this is an explosion you get. You feeling it in your fingertips. You gotta go around Shorty now.
True.
And now that I gotta go around Shorty's that emotion that's moving you toward that space. Now your energy stuck in that space.
Absolutely.
You gotta take your energy back.
Absolutely.
That's a transfer as an energy.
Absolutely.
Who has my energy and who's storing it? Are they storing it properly? Because we putting energy out right now. It's going into spaces. Some folks gonna take this energy and waste it. Some people gonna take this energy and build and get a community what we need. You earned your name.
True.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sir.
Absolutely. That's what I taught. I taught truth, bro. Like truth is a principle. Like
integral.
My principle is truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You get what I'm saying? Like, and a man has to have principle. What they say, like, I'm not a Christian, but like I understand a lot of people familiar with the Bible, right? So the Bible say truth will set you free, right? So once we know the truths about certain situations, now we can actually like deal with it adjustly and be free. But if you're dealing with lies, you're gonna be, in a lie. And like my thing is, I gotta speak truth, at all times, because once we understand the truths about situations, then we can, better our situations. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us don't know.
No lie. When you live by your truth.
No lie.
Not your truth, but truth.
Truth.
And that's been one thing I said with a lot of people running around. My truth. If your truth a lie, it ain't the truth. There's no half truth. It's truth. It is a whole thing. And it's like I've been sitting with that a lot as far as the things that's going on in the city. So people are responding to like, how could these kids be doing it? I'm like, y'all not looking at it truthfully. Absolutely. Y'all looking at it for the lie that y'all want to perpetuate. But the reality is a lot of pieces missing within our community. And I'm grateful to know that you stepping up in that space. Absolutely. And the many brothers that you're moving with are as well. Absolutely. Because I continue to say on this podcast and in this space, we have to model what we want to see. When you are telling somebody to be something that you are not, you might as well keep your mouth closed. It's so important to be the example.
Absolutely. What'd you say? What that word you say? You
model.
said it. Be.
Be.
You only can be.
All you can be. All you can be is what we decide. And it started in that mind. And you went subatomic.
Man,
you went subatomic.
That's you got to.
It's so amazing how all of these worlds play into the same chord. We talking. It's like the tree is the source of so much.
Absolutely.
And we don't recognize I won't say we. I'm not going to speak for myself. I'm not going to be included in that any longer. But the tree, just thinking about how you can build a home, you can build musical instruments, you can take things from trees to get rubber on these tires that we're riding around on. Just sitting with the fact that there's no lack. That's a fact. There is a lack of nothing. And the easiest way to get people emotional, like we said, is to make them believe their scarcity. Make them believe they need more. I'm floating because I love conversation like this, and I want to find ways to give people some intentional jewels. I say the purpose of this is to
to me, man. Talk to me.
make people aware of the ways they can show up in this community better, because that's been a big topic right now. People are asking Brandon Scott what he's going to do about things, and that's foolish to me, because every man is capable of doing something. Every man, woman, child is capable of doing something. Why are we leaning on this individual as the only one? What would be some things you believe we can do as a community?
So the first community that you build is within yourself. That's the first. You got to build yourself. That's the first thing. That's the first community. You have over 1 trillion cells. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take care of them first. So like that's the first thing. The other thing is, nothing moves without community. If you look at Jesus, he had the 12 disciples. You look at Martin Luther King, he had the church. You look at Malcolm X, he had Nation of Islam. You look at Jay-Z, he got Rock Nation. You look at True Relation, True Falcon Line, whatever the case may be, which are communities. And when I was growing up, my community in my household was like so disenfranchised. And you know, when I stepped outside the door, I seen a pattern in like other households. But as a kid, I couldn't properly articulate what I was seeing because I was still experiencing. And you know, 90% of the day I wasn't with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm at school, I'm outside, I'm at football practice, I might be with my friends, whatever the case may be. And that's why community is so important. Me understanding where we are, and because a lot of people don't understand what the United States is, right? So America is the land. The United States is a federal corporation by law, though. Like you can look it up in law. What is the United States? Cornell law, whatever, Harvard is going to tell you. The United States is a federal corporation that was erected July 4th, 1776. That's when he went independent from the nation that they was once upon, which is Great Britain, right? So me understanding like history and then understanding like our relationship with government agencies, I would say that next thing is holding ourselves accountable, you know, because that's what's going to make the community, you know, flourish. So it's like this. If I'm solely putting all the responsibility on Brandon Scott, that means I give him the overall power of my future. And me as a man, I can't give another man a power over my future, and or no government agency or anybody. So like that's kind of like the thing, right? And then it start to partner and collaborate and do business with each other, because in our community we don't really know each other, and that's why we when I say we don't know each other, like we really, because we don't know ourselves, so we really just existing, not really being intentional on why we dealing with certain people and why we whatever the case may be, we're not as intentional. So my thing is first doing the research on yourself and building yourself. Second is to understand, you know, the relationship with everything around you. Third, then you gotta understand what these institutions, what are these corporations, what is their obligations. And once we understand, like, you know, I'm gonna go back because where we at in this unique space, we're in United States of America. Let's do a little history lesson real quick. So you got the United States, right? I told you it was erected in 1776, but prior to this being erected, you had a land here already,
with people
right?
populating many cultures.
People was already here. It was so many tribes already here. I'm a Choctaw Indian. Like, I know this. Like, so like a lot of us don't know who we are. So when this corporation was being erected, because remember, it was colonies. When they came over here on a business venture, because they was expanding what they were already doing over there. So when they did come here, they started doing business here. The Indians that was already here, they formed treaties. Treaties are contracts between two nations, right? You can look these treaties up. And when they was setting up these treaties, they had permission to start their corporation. So they had that one colony, they flipped that, the 10. They flipped that 10 to 13. They got 13 colonies. The first colony was Jamestown, Virginia. The London Stock Company of Virginia was the official name. So when they started this thing and they got the 13 colonies, they wound up calling it the United Colonies because they came together. So when they called it the United Colonies with the intent of going independent, but at that time they still had business with the crown. So that's when the Boston Tea Party happened.
So we're not paying this taxes because basically we cutting out the middleman. Y'all far, bro. I'm not
dealing with you no more. Absolutely.
We the plug.
Absolutely.
And that's what it probably, that's what I think.
And that's when that kind of like changed the subjective of what was to come, because they had to go to war, was led to the American Revolution. They went to war with each other, and, you know, that's how they gained their independence, you know, quote unquote. They gained their independence, and they basically called themselves the United States. But you remember, 10 years later, the Constitution was erected. So that Constitution basically was protection of the natural person of the land, because you got a corporation being built, and the public don't even know this is a corporation. Like they still like this is a government, you know, but they already transformed it into a corporation. So when this thing was erected, they had to create a constitution to protect me, you, and all the natural people of the land, because you're doing business, right? So when they created this constitution, you know, basically the freedom of religion, basically all your God-given rights. That's what the Constitution basically explains. So when the Constitution was done, you gotta understand, a lot of people was misinformed. You know what I'm saying? Just like right now on the news, a lot of people think something going on, but a whole another thing going on. So like a lot of people was misinformed, and at that time you had a lot of the you know, leaders of the United States corporation, different ambitionist group and people like that. They literally what they did was they reclassified the natural person under law, and so that means they stripped people of their natural names and called them black or white.
And that's where all of these, there is a struggle in getting genealogy that's factual.
Truth.
They will not allow you to know that you're a Choctaw. I know for a fact that my grandmother has Native American ancestry. Eyes just like yours, many different colors. They could be any color, depending on the time of the year. Her father was 7 feet tall. Like these different things that I find out through pictures that I'm not allowed to know. The many of us aren't allowed to know. This is our home.
It's the land. Absolutely.
That's why I feel so comfortable here. Feel like I see the sun like I've always known it. These types of things that you find out within knowing self.
Truth.
Is so much in selfhood. You gave so much game.
Can I build some more?
Keep building. I wonder. It was so many pieces I wanted to peel out that I want them to really sit with.
Yeah. Cause like that part, bro. Like the reason why, like I explained that piece specifically because, and even back to the Bible say, honor your mother and father, name that your days should be longer. So like this shit is biblical and spiritual, bro. So it's like if you calling yourselves black and white, because remember these are commercial codes. You can look up UCC. It's called Uniform Commercial Codes, and most of the stuff I'm talking about. Because remember, they doing strictly business. This is nothing personal. They doing business. So I told you they black and white. Before 1400s, no group of people identified as black or white. You can look it up. Ancient history. Everybody had nationalities. I'm gonna give you an example. So white people, when they go home and they talk about each other, like they don't be like, oh, that white. That they be like, oh, that Italian, or that Russian, that Irish. You get what I'm saying? German. So these are nations. These are nations. Yes, so when you go to Africa, you tell an African he's an African, he's like, whoa.
Somalian.
You feel
I'm
me?
Nigerian.
I'm Nigerian.
Trinidad, Caribbean, but they
like,
all these different spaces.
Nationalities.
Even South Africa is multiple different tribes.
Absolutely.
But they limit us to one. It's a simple knowledge.
Because a lot of these people, and if they do say they're black, they're because they colonized. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us don't really understand ourselves and because you gotta understand, like, this is political warfare and psychological warfare. You know, so the way that they, they got the people to not understand themselves. So if you don't understand yourself, I can tell you who you are. You know what I'm saying? Then now after that, then you gotta go. Cause look, when you look at black history, you know it always starts from the slave ships. But that's where black literally started, though. You get what I'm saying?
Because that's when they put the label on.
That's when they put the label on.
Said, these are Negroes. These are black, and Negro is also based on the Portuguese and the Spanish having hands and the black bodies they brought over.
They called you black. They called you colored. They called you African American. They call you all types of
anything but what you truly are.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? That's like that's big to me, because when you look up the word person, right? You got legal person, then you got natural person. And you can look it up right now while we're in the car, right? Like you got, just to show y'all like what I mean by what the things I'm saying, because sometimes it could be, too deep for a person depending on where they vibrating at, but a God gave the truth. So listen, right? Mind you, I told this a corporation, and we gotta understand law because that's what governs them. All law. So type in a legal definition of person.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. We're gonna have a whole segment called Moments of Truth. I'm just have to find true wherever he at in the country, wherever he at in the time.
We might have to do that
and put Moments of Truth together, because
we might have to do that.
I ain't want to cut you off like that, because there's so many parts where I'm like, brother, I'm gonna have to watch this back and be like, I might have to do a director's cut. Like, that brother was speaking about this specifically. I need y'all to look at like
straight up, bro.
Brother. Legal definition of truth.
Person. So we're going to do two definitions.
I got legal definition of person. The term person is defined in 18 USC 2501. Are you going to go here?
Yeah, we can go.
I like to read, y'all. I like to read.
So what's the legal definition of a person?
Legal person refers to a human or non-human entity that is treated as a person for limited legal purposes. I'm already smiling about non-human entity because it refers to corporation, which is what the...
You feel me? Look, we going to give it to him. We're going to give it to him.
We're going to have a lot of moments of truth, but typically a legal person can sue and be sued on property and enter into contracts, business law. Legal person is used frequently within the field of business law. Laws dealing with business organizations, i.e., corporations, partnerships, limited liability companies, etc., often use the term legal person so that the laws apply to humans as well as non-human business entities.
So listen to what I'm saying. So you heard, I didn't say this. He write this in law. So a legal person, bro. If I walk into a building,
we ain't gonna play with it.
If I walk into a building and I slip and fall, I don't sue the natural person. I sue the legal persons. Like this right here, this not truth. So I ain't even going. But they can say it anyway. This not truth, but this is a company, which is a person.
It's a person.
You know what I'm saying? This Apple is.
Why you disrespecting my peoples?
Because it's not truth.
No. I'm just saying that's the energy.
Oh, true.
That's the energy. Because everything, these objects are people. So sometimes when they say we're protecting the people,
not so like
they protecting.
So we gotta understand linguistics. So we are the people. We the people. That's why it says that in the Constitution. We the people. Persons
and people are separate.
That's two different things. Now listen. You read legal person. Now go to natural person. Because legal person is any human or non-human entity that is treated as a natural person for limited legal purposes. Now let's go to natural person. And this is how they got us in law. Cause remember, if you sign a contract, bro, and I don't sign it, that contract is not live. So that's the same thing with the United States Federal Corporation. So I'm gonna break it down to y'all real quick. Now go out.
definition is a living human being. Legal systems can attach rights and duties to a natural person's without their express consent.
So it's a difference between a legal person and a natural person under law. So they don't need your express consent to attach rights and duties to a natural person. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at it like this. The United States, now one more definition. One more definition.
Man, it over. This is it's a beautiful moment. The power of this is, I want to learn. What do they say? The beginning of all knowledge is the fear of God. Understanding that knowledge is the key, and also coming to get to the point where you recognize that understanding and then wisdom is the application of these understandings, is just a whole lot of truth, whole lot of heat. We got United States right here. It means a federal corporation. That was A. B, an agency, department, commission, board, or other entity of the United States. And C was an instrumentality of the United States.
So, like, and this is definition. Look, you can. Remember I told you about the Uniform Commercial Codes, USC 3002, Section 15. Literally tells you what the United States is. The United States is a federal corporation doing business. So us, remember, everything started with the word. Your word is your bond, and when you say certain words, you're bonded to that. So if you saying these things, you don't even know what you're saying. That's why a lot of people gotta go get a lawyer, because he understands law.
Bonded to everything you saying within that courtroom.
That's why you got the right to remain silent. You get what I'm saying? You don't gotta talk to them if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? See, I look at it like this. So you got the United States Federal Corporation. When it was erected, you gotta understand they had to, in order for them to do business with the natural person, you had to have a legal person to represent you. And your legal persons is your ID, your social security card, and your birth certificate. Because if you ain't got those three commercial instruments, you cannot participate in that federal corporation. You can't do business. How you gonna get a job? What they asking for?
Social.
You feel me? So like my thing is, I teach people, you know, the difference between this commercial language and then the divine body, the divine spirit. So like they created a system where they doing business with the legal persons, which is your ID, your social security number. I mean, that's what they doing business with. You, that represents you, but that's not you. That's just your representation.
Another external, which is not truly self.
That's not you.
It's not self.
So like that's why, like, if we're like doing business with these people, we gotta understand the language that they're speaking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, by them creating that, that's why they had to create the Constitution to protect the natural persons, because they had treaties with the people of the land. You know what I'm saying? See, at that time, a lot of people were property. You know what I'm saying? So they wasn't getting a proper education of what was going on with the system that's been created. We didn't know that.
So let me ask, with the 3/5 of a person, is the 3/5 considered the 3/5 of the legal person or 3/5 of the natural person?
When you consider yourself, no,
because I'm thinking the 3/5. So because it's like, when was the exact quote of it is, a black man in America is considered 3/5 of a man. So they're saying this person we've labeled black is considered 3/5 of a legal.
Because once you identify as that,
that's what you
3/5 of the person. Like, you got a heart, you breathe, really, but you're not in.
You a hope.
In this commercial system, you're 3/5. Like, we don't recognize, because black has no nationality. White is not a nationality. That's why they say white privilege. At that time, like I told you, when they go home, they don't call themselves white. They're Europeans.
They lean into this label that gives them all of the privileges and powers that they benefit from daily.
Exactly. And a lot of us don't understand this, because it's a science, bro. It's like law has a science to it, and a lot of us not up to date. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, my job is to teach the truth and to, like, to demonstrate that. So when I was creating these businesses, right, when I created True Relations, it was with the intent to teach us and educate us. So like, that's why I tell people, or I advocate for us to start more businesses, because listen, it's either you on the board or you control a board, right? So what's the most powerful piece on a chessboard? Do you know?
I was the king. Well, no, I was in the queen because of the move. Yeah, the queen.
So that's what a lot of people gonna say. That's the most powerful piece on the board, but the most powerful piece
the one put it on. Yeah,
is the person that put it on the board.
Right.
So like a lot of us don't really know that we on the board and we've been controlled legally though. You know what I'm saying? So like my thing is if you create, especially if you got the information, say if I created a business, now I'm not on the board no more. My chess piece, now True Relations is on the board. And I control what he do in this commercial system. So if you was to say for somebody would try to sue or whatever case may be, or try to talk, like you're not talking to me, you're talking to True Relations. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of my pawns.
That's one of my pawns.
I'll send out there.
Absolutely.
Do what
you can make him do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a legal person. Legally, that's a person. He can own shit, sue shit. I
love an LLC.
Shit,
I love an LLC right there.
No.
Yeah, and then they go larger partnerships. Now these LLCs are partnering. Then we got S corps. Then we got more ways to level up. Then the biggest one is the corporation overall, which has a CEO and many different board members and all of these different ways you have to go through to even get to the piece.
And that's why I say like, because that when you create a business, it actually protects you. That's why I say limited liability. There's limited liabilities on you. So like we have, like me example, I created True Relations, right? Which is a business label, collaboration house full of entrepreneurs, over 200 entrepreneurs. With them entrepreneurs, I teach them the same thing I'm talking about right now, and I'm making it digestible, right? And then I got Truth Alkaline, which is the water company, and we utilize that platform to connect. In the middle of COVID, True Relations is about the true relationships. And then COVID came and disconnected me from all the relationships. Then I had to find a way to connect back with the people. And what better way to connect back with the people than a universal connector, which is water, because everyone needs water. And that's how we was able to like expand our audience on a scientific level, right? So now we got True Relations and Truth Alkaline. Then I have a nonprofit called the Family Incorporated. So everything that I'm teaching and talking about right now, you can literally like come to me and learn this through the Family Incorporated. So I teach you how to incorporate your family. I always say never go against the family, incorporate your family. So now it's like, okay, say when somebody from the everyday community want to start a business. This is what, in simplest terms, this is what I help them do. Create a business, right? Now when you have that business, you grow that business. And now when you're ready for marriage, because that's where the family comes in at. If you want to create generational wealth, you got to have family. Generation, that's all that means, family. So like now we have you with a business, now you ready to get married, whatever the case may be. And this is just like I said, you don't have to do it this way, but I'm just giving you like a bird eye view of like options. Now you start your business. Now you get with a woman that you may like, right? Remember, what is marriage? A marriage is a legal and financial partnership. You know what I'm saying? That's why you get a license. Like if I was a barber and I was the one to cut hair, I need a license.
Absolutely.
So that's the same thing with the marriage. That's why you can get a license. You can go downtown, let them know like we live together as a partnership. We doing this for life. So the process of that, like remember when y'all come together, you don't come together off love. The first thing y'all see is physical attraction. Second thing is y'all gonna have conversations. And it's just like a business meeting. You're gonna learn what you do,
the stat sheets,
learn what I do. You know what I'm saying?
What's the assets? What's the liabilities?
You know what I'm saying?
We can talk. It's nice that. So you do the water. I do the I do marketing. Well, this is what our marketing agency does. This is exactly how we draw our lines. What can you actually provide? What revenues will be brought in? What like?
Because even like going like every day y'all talking business like, babe, I'm gonna do this at the grocery market today. I'm gonna go pick up Johnny. I'm gonna go do. So it's like all y'all doing. And remember, I'm still on the first parts, right? So after y'all talk about y'all goals and admirations for each other, y'all start to form a bond. What is a bond in legal terms? A bond is something that secures you to a situation or an instrument. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a bond is. After that bond, y'all gonna go through more situations. Y'all gonna form a trust. You know what I'm saying? So like now that y'all got the bond, y'all got trust, like, okay, love comes out of that because now you see like how that person did you and how you did them. Now y'all start to love each other. Now as a man, it's like if I want to do business with somebody, I gotta come with a proposal. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to do business, if we're gonna do life together, you're my partner for life. Now I gotta propose to you. You know what I'm saying? So when I do that, I'm not proposing just anything. I'm proposing a lifelong plan for us, and you're gonna say yes or no. And when you do say yes, my job is to go create a trust. You know what I'm saying? So that secures us, right? When I go create that trust, I become the executor, right? She becomes the trustee, and then we make trust fund babies. They beneficiaries. You get what I'm saying? Then as they grow, we hire them. And now they get an allowance every week. Then they become tax write-offs because they're underage and they working as a family, employee. Now what we go do? We go hire your uncle. We go hire my grandmother. We hire the elders, right? And we put them in a position of power. And they might be on the board of directors. They might be a consultant. One might be handle finances. But it's like we hire them, and then everybody that's in the family, business, they got to get insurance. Because and that's another key thing that we miss in the community. We don't understand what insurance is. When we hear insurance, we think about planning out death. You know what I'm saying? The whole time insurance is really like planning out your life. And there's ways to tap into your insurance live while you're living. That's called whole life insurance. You know what I'm saying? So now that everybody's insured, if grandma was to die, grandpa, anybody was to die, we getting that check.
Yeah, and where's that money going? Back into the business.
Back into the family. And that's why I call it the family incorporated. You know what I'm saying? You incorporate your family. Like look at all the last name. Look at Jay-Z. He's that's the Carters. You know what I'm saying? You got the West, the Kardashians, the Trumps. So like these people, they're perfecting the family incorporated, that model. Cause like family is business, love is law. When remember, Romeo and Juliet, they wanted to get married, but it was family business. That's why they couldn't get married. You know what I'm saying? If I was to go to Africa right now and I was trying to marry like a woman, because a lot of these, in Africa, they still honor that, way to do things. You got to get blessed into the family in a lot of cultures. Like
you come with like a dowry.
You
gotta really make sure that you are initiating going about the proper channels, like we speaking on, with come with the proper proposal, come with the proper layouts, and building a trust.
Truth.
This man,
Truth, bro. That's truth, bro. Like we gotta like really understand these things, because it's like
our body.
We at a disadvantage, like because listen, the more information you have, the more opportunities you have. The more opportunities you have, the more options you have. And a lot of us don't got the right information. And that's why like my target audience, like I know I'm talking to that young guy that's on the corner that feel as though he don't got a way out. And the only reason being because he's just surviving off the information that he have right then and there. Like the guy on the corner showed him this. Because a lot of us not really raised, we watch. And we watch back, so we see the other things people do, and then we just pick up on that because we think that
imitate rather than
model. You said it earlier.
Yeah,
and that's why I like everything that I do. I make sure I demonstrate. Like everything I'm talking about right now, I can show you how I'm doing it right now.
And I've seen it.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a game.
For sure.
It's in you, not on you.
You feel me?
Like embodiment.
Yeah.
All the words.
It's in me,
brother.
It's in me. This shit in me.
Oh yeah.
This shit in me, man.
Yeah. Man, it's heavy because when I sit with real words, I don't have there's really nothing to say. He said what has to be said. The relationship with self will influence how everybody's affected by your relationship with yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the truest. Like, so there's so many points, bro. The business, breaking the business down in the family, and just the terms you using to connect, but true moments. I'm having to sit with my spirit right now, my breath, because a lot of facts that y'all are gonna benefit from when you tap into this. I I'm just like, bro.
Yeah, I know, like, because it is overwhelming, because it's like, I call it information overload. So it's like, you give somebody an information. It's like this. It's because you living away, you be living away, and you know, like, you're going through all these challenges and hardships. You know, it's always gonna be challenges, but it's like you be living away, and then someone hit you with this information that you always knew it was something missing, the truth. And like, that's my thing, is like, meet people where they at and see where they vibrating at, and then see what, you know what I'm saying, see what unique situation they are. I'm like, oh, you just was missing this part. You just was missing this
I
part.
call it like a rewiring.
That's exactly what it is.
Because
exactly.
and that's why you can either respond to the rewiring with ego and be uncomfortable, or you can be sit into it and now adjust. So certain things I had, you like we said, it's always there.
Absolutely.
What is your understanding of what it is?
If I was to show you the Playboy bunny, right, who you gonna think of?
You have to.
But if I was to show my son the Playboy bunny, he's just gonna think of a regular bunny, because of the information that you have. You know what I'm saying? But it was always there.
I'm having this moment because you've put together so many of the episodes that I've already had. I speak on references. I speak on modeling. I speak on the power of business. I speak on at just about everything that you've come into the space to give.
Absolutely.
And you're doing it as somebody people would assume wouldn't know it. And I say that because I've had so many experiences where they're like, nah, that guy, but you, me, there's no difference. You from over west, I'm from over east. But I watch people put up these lines because of slight differences. I'm wearing blue, you wearing red. If somebody's just scrolling down YouTube, those Bloods and Crips. People having these simple-minded moments and not recognizing the power in releasing all that you think you know. To begin to know anything, you got to recognize you don't know. And you'll never know enough. But there's so much that can be, it's already in us, though.
You hitting it, bro. Like, you talking that talk. Like, a man, the wise man knows he knows nothing at all. And that's how you learn. Like, I don't go into situations thinking I know everything. I'm coming as a student at all time. Like, I'm a student of life. Like I say, I study everything. Like, what is a scientist? A scientist is one who studies. That's all a scientist is.
And then what's the scientific method? Trial, error.
That's called, and that's what we remember we done that in class when you had to observe, do your hypotheses. That's what I do with everybody and everything.
What's your conclusion?
You know what I'm saying?
Observe, come to a hypothesis, make my conclusion, and we got placebos where we can do basic level tests with something just to see if if there's a reaction. Just often, there's just so many ways to approach these basic things. But I'm immensely grateful to just sit with all of you giving me. I'm grateful for the time you given this space.
Absolutely.
Because I truly honor everything you said. And I know that there's a guy out there that may not look at me as somebody, because I've gotten different reactions based on the things that I've done and the ways that I've shown up. Everybody don't understand the yoga. Everybody don't understand certain things, right?
Yeah, true. So
it's like people don't always put these together. Like, I've popped out with people like, how you know them? I'm like, it's not about me knowing them. And you don't got to know why. I'm just a guy from a place. I'm just a guy from a place that embodies the things that everybody honors. That's why when you even said principle, I'm like, principle's so heavy because that's the start of business. A man's principles tell you everything you need to know. Absolutely. I don't care what you got on.
Absolutely.
You could be clean cut. And this is the funny part. The people that you're afraid to do, a lot of us are afraid to do business with. You're so afraid to do business with them, but you do business with this idea. He has a suit and a tie, and he smiled at him. And I think that loan he gave is great. You check the paperwork, and it says 10-year loan, 20% interest, $1,000 a month is a balloon rate if you don't pay at this. Like, that ain't your friend. So I just, like I said with so much, and brother, we need moments of truth.
Truth. I think we might have to put that together,
Thousands of gems in it.
I think we might have to do that, bro.
$1 billion Bipper. $1 billion Bipper is what
we might have to do that, man.
Moments of truth. I swear, I'm just like, bro, because I'm gonna go back through this, and I'm gonna put some shorts up. You know, I had to throw the shorts up, and I'm gonna have it leave. Like, I'm gonna have back-to-back shorts for just this one video, and I need the people to just, I don't even say I need the people, because it all starts with self, like we said.
Truth.
I need myself to continue to be an embodiment and continue to honor these things so that we can have more brothers such as yourself.
What's the greatest currency in the universe?
Time.
I like that answer.
I like
energy. That answer.
I think it's time.
There you go. Say it one time.
Energy.
That's the greatest currency in the universe. And here's why though. Like, you trade your energy for currency. That's why they say get a trade. So like, if my car break down, I gotta holler at the mechanic. He gonna give me his energy, which is his skill, time, and intellect. If a doctor, she got a trade. If I break my leg, she gonna give me her time, skill, and intellect. If my hair fucked up, I gotta holler at my barber. He gonna give me his
time. What you say about energy that we all know as a universal law cannot be created or destroyed. So something that cannot be created or destroyed is always present.
Absolutely.
So if we looking at currency, there's never an absence of energy. There's never absence. What am I doing with this energy?
Absolutely.
Am I storing this energy? Potential energy is waste of energy. Inertia is this energy that's creating momentum.
Yeah, see, that's what you're talking that science, bro. Like every time we talking, bro, I'm talking science, and that's why, like when you say things like, all right, like even with water, right? Like water has a current, a currency. You get what I'm saying? Water has a bank too. You know what I'm saying? Like
store the water.
You know what I'm saying? So like how they like even when I say I don't care what you talking about, I'm gonna bring it back to the scientific standpoint so you can understand divine.
And that's needed.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all. It's a lot of what I recognize in the school building, like I was telling you earlier, is that they like to keep every class separate. They like to put these walls up. Oh, science is only done there. Math is only done there. Reading and language arts is only done there. You're reading in all of them classes. You're applying things you learn in science to your math classes because eventually you're going to learn this physics. And physics is going to tell you to use these equations you learned in math to understand gravitational pull. Now you got to know that 9.8 meters per second squared is something that you cannot forget because it's going to show up in so many of these problems. With these word problems. And I'm like, the biggest thing that recently they spoke on how there's a large learning gap. They're saying children aren't proficient in math. The number one thing to get proficient in math is your literacy. These children are illiterate. So a person that cannot read struggles with just about everything. And you can tell them just about anything. Because all I have to do is put it on a paper and smile in your face and you'll sign.
You see how you just said that? Like, and that's where I was teaching about law and history. Because my teacher, I had a second grade teacher, she used to always say, readers is leaders. And like, my thing was, I understand, like, I read a lot of books, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, my favorite author, The Alchemist, 50th Law of Power, shout out 50 Cent, my guy. Like, and I think, like, a lot of us really don't read. Like, even down, like, you know how, like, when you create an account and it be having like the fine terms, like we don't read that shit. You know what I'm saying? The whole time it literally saying we can sell your images anyway. Like it be saying all types of crazy things. And like my thing is now is make sure I read, you know, and not just like read and not just reading a headline. I really like reads. And I know my peers don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say everyone, but it's like a large group of us don't really read. You know, we see the big headline and be like, okay, that's the narrative. And that's why, like, when it comes to contracts, like, when you see a lot of these rappers end up in 360 deals, they didn't read. You know what I'm saying?
It's sad because there's so many foundational elements to life. To go fast, you must master moving slow. To have good motion, you must master stillness. To go far in life, you master the building blocks, which are reading, because reading is fundamental.
Absolutely.
So it's like when we're reading, this is the building block to all knowledge.
Truth.
Even I mentioned on my podcast earlier, they use the quote, you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in a book. You want to hide something from black people, you put it in a book.
Truth.
The number one thing they outlawed with slaves was reading.
Yeah.
You could not learn. Everyone who did learn, from Frederick Douglass to Harriet Tubman, Carter G. Woodson, beyond slavery, but just thinking about all of the individuals who made themselves masters of this space. Right. They were well read. And the number one thing they don't want you doing is that. So it's like, I sit with even the books you name, like Napoleon Hill even has Outwitting the Devil, which is another.
Napoleon Hill nasty, man.
Yeah, he got some joints.
He nasty.
But it's just these different concepts that come together. And the power of reading is that you start to recognize the oneness. Because I'll read Napoleon Hill and then I'll go to Joe Dispenza and I'm like, oh, and then I'll go to the Bible, which is where all of it starts. Because basic instructions before leaving Earth, just all of these different things that cycle through. But
I do got, as your brother, got to correct you one time.
Yes, sir.
No, you hit it with the basic instruction before leaving Earth, but everything don't start with the Bible. I ain't gonna lie.
Where you go before? Where you go below?
Everything starts in the mind, bro. Like a lot of us don't like.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because it'd be like, the reason why I was just using Christian references, because I know like that's a universal book, you know, that a lot of us, you know, go to try to read to like get understanding. But that's kind of like these books, I don't care how many books you read, if you're not applying this shit, because like a lot of people say it's knowledge, but it's really about applied knowledge. Like, because a lot of people be knowing better but still do the same thing. So it's like, what separates people is mindsets, bro. I know we all one. We all one, bro. Like, ash to ashes, dust to dust, from the creator you came, from the creator you must return. I just told you, like, we spirits with a body, not a body with a spirit. So this flesh not ours. You breathing in the same thing I'm breathing out. Like, we sharing the same, we in the car right now, sharing the same oxygen. And like, even down to like, you know, understanding like how the mind works. So it's like, I don't think we dig deeper enough with self, bro. It's like we depend on a lot of outside sources sometimes. The whole time we already get natural downloads. You already get natural, like, you get those things already. That voice in your head, everybody has that voice in their head. And depending on where you vibrating is the feedback you're gonna get. You ever seen like the cartoons and it's like the devil on one shoulder and then it's like, that's you, your higher your higher self and your lower self. And depending on where you vibrating is when you gonna hear.
And wisdom's applied knowledge.
You feel me?
Because you take all this knowledge in and you waste it. What's the purpose? So I read it in the scriptures, or I read in Napoleon Hill, that the beginning of it is my desire and what I'm after, and I don't recognize that my desires are limiting me and do something about it. There was no point in me reading it.
Truth.
But I already knew it. You already felt it. Truth. Sometimes I think the reading is confirmation.
Truth.
So when you take in this confirmation, you must accept what it's telling you and go apply it.
Absolutely, bro.
You earned your name. His name is his name.
Yeah, that's my man. Like, I really love, like, even your thinking pattern, bro, like, because you engaging in a different way that's allowing me to even get this message out. And that's why I'm really like, we might really have to do that moment of truth and really like hit around different topics. Like, my thing is, like, I like to talk about what's not being talked about. Like, I'm going to always ruffle your feathers. I'm going to always challenge you to think. I'm going to challenge thought, provoke thought. I'm never going to tell you what to think, but I'm going to definitely give you that information to start thinking. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, like, we not really thinking. You know what I'm saying? We just reacting instead of being proactive. You know what I'm saying?
Proactive allows you to respond.
You feel me?
Because proper preparation prevents poor performance. And to perform, you had to go prepare in a way where we did the sitting, which was where we studied. All these different, it's all coming. It's all coming back to you. It's always been there. It can't come back to you.
Everything we talk about, bro, I promise you, we talk about self. Like, I don't care what we talk about, it's going to always correlate to self. You know what I'm saying? And even like, you know how they say, through darkness, like, there be light, right? And a lot of us really don't really understand that quote, like you gotta go through those dark times. Like good and bad, that's subjective. You know what I'm saying? Like if a lion chased down a gazelle and eat the gazelle, who was that bad for? You know what I'm saying? That ain't bad for the lion. That's dinner.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But for the
He's
gazelle, that's bad.
That
right.
joint, that nigga gonna yeah.
So when I'm going through bad things in my life, like I don't look at it as bad. Like initially I might do, but I always look at the opportunity for growth, because in bad times it's opportunity for growth. So like when you manifesting things and then like challenges start to come, like your goal is like those challenges, that's the universe
it's testing you to see if you can be in the space you asking to be in.
Absolutely.
So it's
you hit it.
That's why it's even like you said earlier, the emotions, it's moving through me.
That's what separates you from your goal, your emotions, how you start to feel about things. But you control your feelings.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
with
can
the
control
spirit, which is where my breath at.
Why you think they say take deep breath, take deep breaths? Because it's
you
like
can sit into the space
you feel me? So you can be present. See, a lot of us we be getting anxious a lot, or overwhelmed thinking about the future, or we get depressed thinking about the past. You know what I'm saying? When you stay present, man, like it's so many gifts to being in the present. That's why they call it that. You feel me? Like, and that's just and even going back to negative and positive, like that's how we supposed to look at the thing, not good and bad, but negative and positive. Like when you got a battery, it has a negative, then it has a positive, but you need both for the charge. Like I can't cause something bad without good even occurring. Or I can't call something good without bad even occurring, because how am I calling that good?
Constant balance.
It's duality.
And duality. But
duality and balance.
Yeah. And then the power of it all is we sit in the middle.
Truth.
We decide what end we gonna be on.
Truth.
So like I even laugh because there was a documentary done about the different like criminal underground bosses or whatever. They talked about like Pablo Escobar, all these different guys, and like they never thought they was doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Their conception of it is I'm doing what I'm intended to do. That's why they succeed in the way they do. The mind is either gonna be in the space of this is working for me or this is problematic. Eventually the morality kicks in where the guilt overloads, and they deal with that. There's a response to that, a universal response. It's like most of them are moving in a space of I'm doing like Robin Hood, I'm taking, but taking don't work long term. You got to give something too.
Truth.
So I'm just
truth, bro.
I'm having my overload, but I needed this experience.
Yeah.
I keep telling y'all, man, this will be what you allow it to be. To be. I might just name it To Be. There's so many titles, but
yeah.
brother.
I just like my thing, bro, is really like I'm naturally like I don't think things are too deep. That's just for people who,
too deep
think things too deep. Yeah, but this is just like my regular mindset. Like I'm a scientific thinker. Like I always, like even as a kid, like I just was always infatuated. Like what the fuck is
the
this?
Curiosity? Curiosity is the beginning
Absolutely.
of it, and it's like your curiosity will take you to spaces. Like I did a podcast talking about the time I got jumped when I was young, and it was just cathartic to sit with how much I healed over the years and how much I value that experience. Because it was a moment where it was like I had no control, but I stood back up and was able to move on with my life. It's like a lot of other spaces where you speak on darkness. How this darkness, it don't make sense in the time. But then you stop in the room, so you like, yo, like that ain't nothing compared to what I seen or what I've been in. I say more than anything that it's a point where I didn't have this as an option. This was no possibility in anybody's mind. They were like, this guy's done. So to be there, be sitting here with a brother from my city having major motion in a way that is going to impact generations.
Absolutely.
Just off word, action, and principle.
Truth.
Major gratitude to the source that makes it possible. Absolutely. Major gratitude for you for doing the study, going within yourself to build yourself into a man that can bring forth these words and these messages. I just like I said, it's powerful, and this experience is only gonna be what we allow it to be. I gotta figure out the temperature controls in this one. I just know be known, but I genuinely just I'm grateful, man. I'm thankful. I appreciate you.
Likewise, bro.
Yeah, good God.
Likewise, bro. Like, we definitely got clumsy with the gems on here, man. Like, cause like I gotta give him one more, cause like it's like the reason why I even said through darkness let there be light, and that's why the mind is so. That's why I asked you to point where your mind, because look, everything forms in triple black darkness. Like when I about to go plant something in the backyard, take a seed, put the dirt over it, triple black darkness. When you're in the belly, you're in triple black darkness. You close your eyes, triple black darkness. Look in the sky and the stars shine, triple black darkness. So like the reason why I said light, because that's how light even comes about. So it's like when light comes in through my eye, go through my pupil, go through my retina, sends those neurons, that light send those neurons that go through my brain get the picture, the image. That's why it's imagination, because you get an image in your mind, and then when you open your eyes back up, you get to see that image in the physical, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hands. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all a mental picture. Once you got that picture, that like it's visualization. If you can envision it, it can happen. You know what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
why imagination is probably like the most important nation to build is the imagination, bro. And that's why I really like Kanye, bro, because like he might sound crazy to the world, but he's been his genuine self, and he's like pulling out his thoughts and manifesting them. You know what I'm saying? So
and
yeah,
it is I got a thought about media that's slipping, but the media is its own thing that's playing with the images and the way that your mind takes in these images.
And that's why it's so important, bro, to study yourself, because all of these, because the U.S. corporations, remember, it's a business, so they're marketing a lot of things to you. You know what I'm saying? And then you got corporations in between, in between the corporation that's still marketing a lot of things to you. And that's why, like I was saying, like the way that they created this, like what they did was they created a worldwide commerce system inside of a continent. Because think about it, really think about it. Like when you went down the street, you did business with a Chinese lady at the store. When your mother won't get her hair done, she went to go holler at the Africans. When you go to the gas station, you're gonna see the Pakistans. Like, so what I'm saying is, like, this is business. Everybody is here doing business and going back to their homes to try to live a better life.
To their nation, to build their nation. But this is our nation.
And we the only ones don't understand the importance of nation building. That's why we fucked up and so disenfranchised. Like we don't, like other nations, they don't play about their families, bro. Like especially like I love how like the Chinese move with their family as far as like structure, discipline. Sometimes they can be like too, but it's still like it's important because it's honor and what they talking about. It's honor and what they doing. And like for the most part, bro, what we doing right now is giving the word and making sure like the people got it, and making sure we actually got a system. You know what I'm saying? System is saving yourself time, energy, and money. All right, we about to sign out in a few. I gotta get a couple quotes, right? System, man. Always create a system for yourself. System is saving yourself time, energy, and money. Win is working in numbers. Team is together. Everyone achieves more.
Let's do this real quick.
What's up?
If we can get Champ to move the car, I'm gonna drive around the block, and you can keep spitting gems, because I don't want that to end.
Okay.
Them acronyms, brother. Them acronyms.
Yeah, we got hit him. We got hit him with that. We got
saving yourself.
You just gonna block them out, like.
Oh
right.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I would say just follow us real quick.
Oh, I sent them more. Right. That's why I do the car.
Yeah, no, that's hard. That's hard. Yeah, we gotta hit them though, like. So like, I gotta give them the acronyms though, like. So I say like system, right? System is saving yourself time, energy, and money. Once you create that system, you gotta create a team to work that system. Team is together, everyone achieves more. You know what I'm saying? And in order for y'all to achieve more, y'all gotta be rich. That's realizing it can happen. And that's how you win, because you was working in numbers. And like from that standpoint, it's like those acronyms, Like I use those in my everyday life, you know, and that's how I really teach the kids and putting it in acronyms so they can remember forever.
That's the heavy part. Like I learned a lot growing up through song. I learned a lot of concepts through song. I'm really big. Nah, the drive, so my mind is in two different spaces. But I'm just like thinking about the ways in which they move to this. Limiting beliefs is something I speak on a lot. The problem with learning new things is that there's old things to unleash.
Truth.
So a major limiting belief is that community doesn't work because of people's negative experiences with Black individuals.
Truth.
I come up with mother who does hair. My conception of business was limited to her experience with it and what she modeled. So I'm grateful to have recognized early and continue to learn that the information is what unlocks you.
Information, absolutely.
Allow new knowledge to come in.
Hold, look at that word real quick. This one I can bear with you.
Get it. You
so like that's why I said etymology, bro. Like just break down this word. You first, it's a compound word in a way because you got in. That's the first word. Next thing, next word you see is form. Inform. You forming yourself. You get what I'm saying with the information you just got, and that's all it is, bro. Inform, like, and through certain words that you do get, because all it is words. Because those words represent certain processes and certain, you know, situations, and that's why like information leads to all of those other things. But no, I love your thinking pattern. I love how you break things because you be helping me build even more.
Like wise, brother.
Yeah, bro, real wise,
King
man.
talking here,
real
God
wise.
body. I'm just, like I said, when I say grateful, I've been saying grateful so much. Every time I say grateful, I get something new to be grateful for. Every time I say grateful, I get something new to be grateful for. I said that on one of the first carcasts where I was saying, there's a limitless list of things to be grateful for. There's no limit to gratitude. There's no limit to love.
Infinite.
There's no limit to peace. We often become our own worst enemy.
Absolutely.
And I'm giving that to all the selves out here. All the selves.
Yeah.
Because we might be a nation of selves.
Yeah.
This is two selves with similar thought patterns.
True.
And we align with these thought patterns to build.
Yeah, man. You hitting it, bro.
Yo,
like you hitting it, man. Like
man.
You hitting it.
So when's the next cast?
Man, we really gotta like really chop it up because we might have to do that moment of truth. Like
we had to really
at least
have
once
that.
or twice a month, you know what I'm saying, and hit different topics. That can be the business. And like you see how like live in effect, that's collaboration right there. And this is how we community build.
Yes.
Literally live on the podcast, we just thought of a business venture. So it's like, man, make sure that you manifesting your dreams on a day-to-day basis. How you get 10 is how you make 2. So you make 2 is how you get 10. But you gotta start from somewhere. And like my thing right now is making sure we collaborating at a high level and we being intentional. You know what I'm saying? 1 + 1 don't equal 2. 1 + 1 = 3. You know what I'm saying? It's even biblical where 2 or more minds come together. That's where he should be. Man, mastermind principle. That's the mastermind principle as well. So it's like we just gotta understand how much community matters, and I'm making sure like on a day-to-day basis in my everyday life I'm embodying that. Like when you see true, you don't just see true. Like I represent the community, I represent the R, and it's like, man, I'm even grateful. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for the opportunity, like just to even be a part of your business venture. So like this where is that, bro? Like we here and we building. And I think there's gonna be we got a business venture coming. Like we got something coming for you guys. Like for sure though. For sure though.
A whole lot is heavy in a major way. $1 billion Bipper, Charm City Bipper.
That's God.
Just when I tell y'all that it is gonna be what you allow it to be, I mean it. Like
Truth.
I keep, and I've said that in just about every podcast that I created. Like the powerful part is this podcast is stretched because I did like about 10 or 12 this weekend.
Okay.
So I've been building in a way where people be like, yo, you do these every day? Yeah. No. Like even before I started, I had like 17 of them pre-done.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Pull them up, get that consistency. Then I'm like doing 2 in a day. Then sometimes I'm doing 5 in a week. Like it's just stretch the money out. Not even stretch the money out, but stretch the work out so that it's feeding people on a daily basis. Absolutely. You done gave so much food in this space. That's why, like, if you watch my podcast, a lot of times I do this thing. I'm like, oh, I do these big things because I'm trying to keep my damn mouth shut and let my guests get that shit off.
Yeah.
But it's also like I'm being fucking nourished. Like I've been nourished by this conversation in so many ways, on so many levels.
Absolutely.
And I pray and I give that to y'all. I hope y'all take major action after hearing this, man. On all levels. This is
all levels.
This is Baltimore at its finest.
Absolutely.
And you got the Baltimore Giants on?
Oh, it's not even Baltimore Giants.
What does it be?
This the Boston fitted.
Hey,
he just went with the billionaire.
I like the beat.
You keep saying billionaire boy. This is a billionaire's jacket the whole time. Billionaire Boys Club.
Clean.
That B stand for billionaire.
Hey, that word been following me.
Yeah,
that word been following me.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Straight up, man. That's God.
I am a God from a place. Charm City Bipper, Quis The Vndl. Marquis is the name my mama blessed me with. I got.
Yeah, you got Mr. Stay True, turning 1 into him. You know what I'm saying? Man, you can follow me on all platforms, _1 True. I'm going to say it one more time. It's Mr. Stay True, turning 1 into a 2. If you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hands. Yo.
What's in your hands, shorty? What's in your hands? What's in your hands? Come on.
That's God. Man, love, Brody.
Major.
For sure, man.
Major, brother.
Yeah, we rocked it.
Yes.
We rocked it.
Yeah. We were searching for the right way, did a lot of wrong. Can't go back, gotta move on. Gotta move forward, corrections given and accept the living still brings pain.